the insanity continues. I mean, when this kind of non-scientific, outrage, politically motivated BS gets promoted on Fox News and other right-wing outlets, then disaster is sure to follow. And, you know, for example, down in Miami, there's this, you've got this private school, and the woman who runs it, it's called the Centner Academy. It's named after a person, C-E-N-T-N-E-R, Ms. Centner. And she has frequently shared anti-vaccine posts on Facebook. And so she wrote a letter to all of her employees. Now keep in mind, this is a school. It's a private school. Probably part of the whole charter school scam, you know, getting our tax dollars, but, you know, anyway. Just saying that, you know, with a heavy heart, I have to inform you, my teachers, my employees, that if you have a vaccine, if you've been vaccinated, you have to stay away from the children. This is exactly what she wrote. She said, reports have surfaced recently. So this is the problem with looking things up on the internet and saying, oh yeah, I've got the scientific truth here. Reports have surfaced recently of non-vaccinated people being negatively impacted by interacting with people who have been vaccinated. So let me get this straight. Somebody's not vaccinated, they're vulnerable to the disease. Somebody else is vaccinated, they are immune to the disease, relatively speaking. The two have lunch together, and the person who's not vaccinated is negatively impacted. Now, I can see where the person who's vaccinated, who still has, you know, with the regular wild COVID, a 5 or 10% chance of getting COVID, they won't die from it or end up in an ER, but, you know, hey, you can still get COVID or even long COVID or some of the problems associated with COVID, you know, heart disease and strokes and dementia and stuff like that. It's far less likely, radically less likely, but there's still a very small chance. Or as we're seeing now in Oregon, I heard the report this morning, Oregon Public Broadcasting, that we've now got over a dozen cases of the South African variant here. And in 2 cities, they're measuring the wastewater, and they're saying that the South African variant is starting to explode or starting to increase, which says to me that we're going to see here in Oregon probably over the next month or so the same kind of spike that the whole rest of the world seems to be seeing. Because the South African variant, you know, the British variant is somewhat more contagious. The South African variant is 50% more contagious. Plus, it infects younger people, younger being in their 20s, 30s, and 40s. And plus, it can throw them into the hospital, land them in the hospital. Young people who think, I'm immune, I read on Facebook, I don't need to take the vaccine. Right. So anyhow, she continues. This is the woman who runs this private school in her letter to her teachers with all the sound medical information she got off Facebook. She says, quote, even among our own population, we have at least 3 women with menstrual cycles impacted after having spent time with a vaccinated person. This, again, this is a false claim. This is a complete BS. There's no there whatsoever. That vaccinated people can somehow pass the vaccine to others and affect their reproductive systems? Really? So she gave her employees a couple of options. So tell us if you've been vaccinated, in which case we'll keep you away from the kids. Let us know if you get the vaccine, when you do, so that we cannot allow recently vaccinated people to be near our students until more information is known. Or wait till the school year is over to get vaccinated. Hey, you might just get sick and die anyway, right? And if you get the vaccine over the summer, you will not be allowed to return. I mean, this is bizarre. If your kid was in this school, how would you be responding? By the way, yesterday, you know, I'm making a phone call a day. Yesterday, I called my chiropractor's office. And the day before yesterday, it was a restaurant. Yesterday, it was my chiropractor's office. And I said, I need to have my back cracked. I am so looking forward to seeing you guys. It's been a year and a half. I'm assuming you're all vaccinated. I'm all vaccinated, so I'm ready. Let's make an appointment. And the woman kind of sheepishly said, well, no, none of us have had a vaccine here yet. Now, you know, my chiropractor's in his 40s, maybe early 50s, and they just opened that up here in Oregon a week ago. So I'm not assuming that my chiropractor's an anti-vaxxer nut. But, you know, so I said, oh, you know, well, here's my name and phone number. And she recognized me and she wrote it down and everything. And I said, you know, call me when you're all vaccinated, or 2 weeks after you're all vaccinated, and I will be there. And she was like, okay, great, thank you. You gave us an added incentive to get our vaccines right away. And I'm like, good. So step by step.